Hello, everyone. I'm Jonna Quinn, Director of Alumni Relations at One Mercy University. I'd like to welcome you to our yoga with Sarah Sibel, who is a 2013 graduate. This is sponsored by our Gold Graduate of the Last Decade Young Alumni Committee and is open to all alumni. And we've kind of paired it and partnered it with the Griffins at Home virtual series. Since we've all been at home for the last, it feels like years, but the last year or so, we've moved everything virtually. And so we're glad that you can join us tonight. So Sarah is a yogi, a transformation life coach, a certified counselor, and her biggest passion in life is helping others and giving back. She always wanted to be a counselor and received her BA in communications and psychology. They continued to get her MS in counseling to help others with their day-to-day struggles. Throughout this time, her passion for health and fitness grew stronger, and her passion for helping others grew not just mentally and emotionally, but physically as well. She began exploring teaching, spinning, running, and ran many Philadelphia area races while exploring the world of health, nutrition, and fitness. She has certifications and training in transformation life coaching, group fitness instruction, health and nutrition counseling, as well as 200 hours and then 300 hours YTT, working towards her 500-hour Registered Yoga Alliance certification, which she probably has earned by now.
Oh, it's my 500. It's my yoga teacher training, so I'm technically Yoga Alliance certified. Yes.
Perfect. So Sarah also has her own company, and we'll let her talk a little bit about that as well. And in the meantime, please help me welcome Sarah, and thank you for joining us this evening. Sarah, if you'd like to tell us about your company, and you can take it away from here.
Sure. So I have my own side company. It's called The Real Mind, Body, Soul. It's basically a realistic approach to your mental, emotional, and physical health. So it's really whatever the client needs or wants based on their mental and emotional health, whether they need counseling or therapeutic services, whether they are looking for one-on-one training, group fitness training, whether they just kind of want to dabble and take some of my classes. I'm actually also level 2 bar certified as well. I recently launched the bar program over at Whole Body Yoga. So if anyone is ever over in the North Wales area by Tex-Mex, which is, not too far from Gwynedd, I teach yoga and bar 4 times a week out of there. That's my main studio that I teach out of. I also teach obviously on my own through my business, and then I teach a handful of other classes in the nearby area too. I teach about 8 to 10 classes a week. And then I just work part-time at Starbucks for the caffeine discount. I'm a coffee lover as well. So that's just a little bit about me. My style is very kind of beginner to intermediate, very kind of slow flow, gentle, very kind of good to your body. I like to combine mind, body, soul, mindset, and mindfulness into my teaching. And I'm more focused on kind of recovery and stretching. So that's kind of what we'll be doing this evening. I'll keep it very beginner friendly, all level. Just knowing that, I'm new to all of you and you're new to me. But you're welcome to come check out any of my classes, which might be a little bit more intense if you're looking for that, or similar to what we do this evening as well. So I appreciate you having me. We're just going to start with a little bit of grounding in and breath work just to kind of release anything that we're holding on to from our day, and then we'll flow from there and just end with our Shavasana or corpse pose, which is just kind of your quiet laying on your back. So let's go ahead and come into a comfortable seated position, grounding into your sits bones. Rooting down, creating length in your spine. Go ahead and bring your palms to your knees and just bring your eyes to a gentle close. And we'll just stay here for a few moments as we begin to notice our breath. And as you're focusing on your breath, just begin to think of an intention for your practice this evening. What you'd like to accomplish out of this 45 minutes for you. Start to notice any areas that are calling to you, any tension that your body might be holding on to. And releasing that as we practice this evening, letting positive, good energy flow into those areas. Kiana, if you could just mute everybody to make sure that there's no feedback. Thank you. Go ahead and hold here for another moment. Focusing on a few more intentional breaths for yourself, quieting your mind. One more deep breath. Go ahead and fully release and let that go. Go ahead and dip your chin down towards your chest and slowly begin to blink your eyes back open, arriving back in your space. Go ahead and bring your feet into a standing position, and we'll just windshield wiper from side to side, slowly waking up our bodies. Starting to release any tension in your low back, your hips. Feel free to release your arms up and over if you'd like. And next time you come to the right, just take a nice gentle twist out behind you, grounding your palms into the earth, releasing your legs behind you. And just hold. You can remain here, or you can lower down to your forearms for a deeper stretch if your body allows, really feeling that nice opening in your hip and low back. One more deep breath. And slowly rise back up to your palms and go ahead and cross back through center and over to the left, releasing out behind you on the left, releasing your legs behind you again, grounding into your palms, and just hold. Again, you can remain here or lower down to your forearms for a deeper stretch, honoring that this side of your body might be different from the first, and that's okay. One more deep breath. Go ahead and rise back up to your palms, coming back to center, coming back into a seated position. Bringing your palms to your knees, begin to circle around in one direction. Waking up your hips and your low back as well as your shoulders and beginning to engage your upper body as well. Moving with the flow of your breath. Go ahead and pause where you are and reverse the direction of your circle. Maybe growing your circles with each roundabout. One more time around. Go ahead and meet me back in center. And on your next breath, go ahead and slide out to the right with your right palm and sweep your left arm up and over. Keeping your sits bones grounded, go ahead and float back to center as you float to the left and release your right arm up and over. And continue flowing back and forth, opening up your obliques, your hips, as well as your core, shoulders, and upper back. Moving with the flow of your breath. Again, keeping your sits bones grounded and shoulders relaxed down from your ears. Next time you come to the right, go ahead and hold, releasing your left arm up and over. And then on your next breath, begin to circle your left arm up and around, releasing any tension or tightness in your shoulder, your arm, your upper back. Go ahead and pause where you are and change the direction of your circle. One more time around. Go ahead and float back to center and just pause for a moment as you notice that lack of balance between your left and right sides. And on your next breath, go ahead and float out to the left as you release your right arm up and over. And then begin to circle your right arm up and around, opening up this side of your upper back and body, as well as your hip and low back. Go ahead and pause and reverse the direction of your circle. Gianna, you can go ahead and let Cindy in. Go ahead and float back to center, noticing alignment once again in your two sides. And on your next breath, go ahead and inhale up and take a nice forward fold this time. Releasing your spine, your low back, maybe gliding from side to side as you ease in. Perfectly fine to be more upright, protect and honor where your body is this evening. And when you get to a good, comfortable spot, go ahead and hold. Continuing to focus on your breath. Welcome, Cindy. We're just warming up. One more deep breath. And then slowly walk your palms back up. And go ahead and come around, meeting me in your tabletop. Coming on to all fours, go ahead and ground into your palms, just beneath your shoulders, bringing your knees about hip width apart. And on your next breath, go ahead and lower your belly down as you take your gaze up towards the sky. And exhale, tuck your chin and round your back. Again, inhale, open your heart, eyes up towards the sky. And exhale, round your back, tuck your chin. And continue flowing back and forth through your cat-cow motion over your next few breaths. One more time in each direction. Go ahead and meet me back in center. And on your next breath, go ahead and widen your fingers, tucking your toes. And when you're ready, go ahead and release your hips up towards the sky, meeting me in your downward facing dog. Go ahead and ground into all four corners of your palms, pedaling your knees back and forth as you release your hamstrings. And on your next breath, inhale your right leg up behind you, driving your foot down and through towards your palms. Tucking your left foot under and releasing your arms up towards the sky as you meet me in your low lunge. Go ahead and keep your palms on your knee for balance, or grab blocks if needed on either side if you have them available. Keeping your right knee atop of your right ankle and engaging your core, shoulders relaxed down, and just hold. Embracing any shakes or wobbles that might occur, as those are just toxins leaving your body. Continuing to breathe as you release tension from your body. Go ahead and release your palms to your heart center and twist over towards your right knee, meeting me in a little prayer twist. Maybe taking a moment for gratitude for this time for you. On your next breath, go ahead and come back to center as you release your right palm beneath your low back and sweep your left arm up and over, taking a nice little back bend as you gaze up towards the sky, feeling that nice heart opener. Again, continuing to focus on your breath as we build some heat. If you'd like, you can release over to the right with your left palm, really feeling that nice opening in your left hip and side. Go ahead and float back to center as you release your left palm beneath your low back to meet your right. And then go ahead and release your palms down, bringing your gaze back up towards the sky, feeling that nice release in your shoulders and upper back. Again, keeping your focus on the breath. On your next breath, go ahead and release your palms back up towards the sky, and then lower them down to frame your right foot as you tuck your left back foot and sweep your right leg up and back to meet it, meeting me back in your downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal your knees back and forth as you notice that lack of balance currently in your two sides. On your next breath, go ahead and release your left leg up behind you as you step back through towards your palms, tucking your right back foot under towards the mat and sweeping your arms back up towards the sky, meeting me back in your low lunge. Engaging your core, opening your heart, relaxing your shoulders down and keeping your left knee atop of your left ankle. Again, you can grab blocks if needed for support or bring your palms to your knees for further balance. On your next breath, go ahead and release your palms to your heart center, and then this time twist over to the left, meeting me back in your prayer twist. Again, maybe taking another moment for gratitude. On your next breath, go ahead and release your palms back to your heart center as you release your left palm beneath your low back and extend your right arm up and over along with your gaze, really opening up your heart, taking a slight back bend, feeling that nice release in your hips, your low back. Shoulders relax down. And you can remain here, or you can float your right arm up and over this time towards the left. Really opening up your right hip inside this time. Go ahead and float back to center and release your right palm beneath your low back to meet your left. And then release both palms down towards the floor as you relax your shoulders down from your ears. And again, open your heart, taking your gaze up towards the sky. On your next breath, go ahead and release your palms back up towards the sky. Go ahead and float them down to meet your left foot this time. Tuck your right back foot And sweep your left leg up and back to meet it, meeting me back in your downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal your knees. And then when you're ready, go ahead and lower down onto your plank, releasing your knees down to your tabletop, and then dropping your knees out wide as you release down into your child's pose. Extending your arms out in front of you, releasing your forehead to the mat, and just hold for a few breaths. Releasing and letting go of that heat that we just built. On your next breath, go ahead and walk your palms over to the right side of your mat as you release and open your left hip and side, and just hold. Meeting me in your angled child's pose. On your next breath, go ahead and walk your palms back through center and cross them over to the left this time, opening up your right hip and side, meeting me in your angled child's pose on the left. Go ahead and float your palms back to center, rising back up, and this time coming around back onto your bottom, sweeping your legs out in front of you. And go ahead and slowly and safely lower down onto your back. On your next breath, go ahead and release your right knee into your chest as you keep your left leg extended out straight onto the mat, and just hold. You can remain here, or you can begin to create tiny little circles in one direction with your right knee, further opening up your right hip as well as your right quadricep muscle. And then go ahead and pause and reverse the direction of your circle. And then on your next breath, go ahead and release your right leg over top of your left, bringing both legs over to the left side of your mat, arms out to a T, gazing out over your right shoulder in your supine twist. Feeling that nice release in your right hip and your low back. And just hold. On your next breath, go ahead and release your legs back through center as you cross them over to the right this time and gaze out over your left shoulder in your twist. Go ahead and float your legs back to center, uncrossing them and releasing them from side to side in windshield wipers. As you notice that lack of balance currently in your two sides. And then go ahead and release your legs back to center. On your next breath, go ahead and release your left knee into your chest this time and extend your right leg out straight onto your mat and just hold. Again, you can remain there or you can start to release your left knee around in tiny circles in one direction, further releasing your left hip and quad muscle. Go ahead and reverse the direction of your circle. And then when you're ready, go ahead and release your left leg over top of your right, bringing both legs over to the right side of your mat, releasing your arms back out to a T and gazing out over your left shoulder this time in your supine twist. On your next breath, go ahead and release your legs back through center, crossing them over to the left one last time and gazing out over your right shoulder. Go ahead and release your legs back to center, uncrossing them and rocking your legs gently from side to side in windshield wipers once again. As you notice that balance in both sides once again. And then meet me back in center. And on your next breath, go ahead and release both knees out wide as you draw the bottoms of your feet together, grounding your low back, your spine, and your shoulders into the earth beneath you. Bringing your palms facing up towards the sky, opening your heart and making your way into your bound angle. On your next breath, go ahead and release your knees into your chest, giving yourself a big hug. And go ahead and release your spine from side to side, giving your spine that last little bit of love and attention. And then go ahead and release your legs out long in front of you, clasping your hands together and taking them over your head, giving yourself one last full body stretch, focusing your attention on anything that you're still holding on to, anything that no longer serves you. Release and let it go. And after you've released and let go of that final last little bit of tension, go ahead and release your arms down to your sides as you melt into your mat and make your way into your Shavasana, grabbing a hoodie or a blanket if needed. The goal of yoga is not the yoga pose itself. Becoming flexible or standing on your hands is not the goal. The goal is to create space where you once were stuck, to unveil layers of protection that you've built around your heart, to appreciate your body and become aware of the mind and the noise that it creates, to make peace with who you are. The goal is to love you. Shift your focus and your heart will grow. Slowly begin to invite movement back into your body, wiggling your fingers and your toes, gently nodding your head from side to side. And when you're ready, go ahead and roll on to your favorite side into the fetal position. Taking one more moment for yourself. And when you feel complete, slowly begin to push yourself back up into a seated position, keeping your eyes closed for another moment. As you draw your palms to your heart center. And just notice how you feel. Notice what's different. Reaffirm the intention that you set for yourself 45 minutes ago. May you be at peace. May you be energized. And may you give that peaceful, loving, good energy out into the world. Let's seal our practice with the vibration of an Om. If you'd like to join me, take a breath in. Om. The light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. And thank you all for joining me. I appreciate you having me as your alumni guest. Please reach out if you have any questions. If you are interested in furthering your yoga practice, I'd be happy to help point you in the right direction. And I will give it back to Gianna.
Thank you so much, Sarah. That was wonderful.
Of course.
We definitely feel more grounded and
Well, that's the goal for sure.
So thank you, Sarah Sibel from the Real Mind, Body, Soul. And if anyone would like to join, please check her out at the Whole Body Yoga Studio in North Wales.